So welcome to our lecture series called Daily MCQ Practice. In this lecture series, we cover that day's newspaper through a set of MCQs, and those MCQs are the number of 4 to 5 MCQs. All right. So we'll be covering today's important news items or important news items from a particular day's newspaper through a set of 4 to 5 MCQs. Now, this lecture series is very important. You should make it a part of your daily routine. Why? Well, if you have covered that day's newspaper, well, then your current affairs would get revised. If you have not read that day's newspaper, well, then your current affairs would get covered and you'll get the much needed MCQ practice. Okay, if you make this lecture series a part of your daily routine, then within a month you would have practiced around 100 to 150 MCQs. Okay, and if you're that consistent, if you're very consistent and you continue with this series for one whole year, just before your prelims examination, well, then you would have practiced around 1200 MCQs from current affairs itself. And ask any serious aspirant who has cleared prelims at least once in their lifetime, well, they would tell you that 1200 MCQs from current affairs are more than enough. And you can achieve this landmark only if you just spare 10 minutes daily from your routine. Okay, just give me 10 minutes daily and you will achieve this target of 1200 MCQs from current affairs. If you achieve this target, well, you need not worry about current affairs as far as your prelims examination is concerned. Okay, so without further talking, let's straight away start with question number 1. Okay, so which of the following statements regarding deep brain stimulation device are correct? It is a 3.5 centimeter square, 0.6 centimeter in thickness. The device delivers constant electrical impulses to brain to disrupt or block abnormal seizure causing signals. Okay. The DBS device is the first response to epileptic seizures. The DBS implant is expensive but is cheaper than brain surgery to cure epilepsy. Okay. Now recently, in UK, world's first brain implant was done. Okay, a chip was inserted in a human being, in a teenager basically based in UK, to cure his epilepsy. So epilepsy is a disease in which a person gets epileptic seizures, and these seizures because there is unusually, abnormally large electrical activity in your brain. And because of that, your body is in a state of, your body receives seizures, and that's very painful for children at least. Okay, so to cure epileptic seizures, this boy based in UK, a teenager, was given a brain implant. Okay, now the device that was inserted in that boy was called deep brain stimulation. It was 3.5 centimeter square, 0.6 centimeter in thickness, and this device actually sends electrical signals to block this abnormally high electrical activity. So statement 1 is correct. Now, this device is actually inserted into the thalamus of your brain, a part of your brain called thalamus, which is actually the relay center for motor and sensory nerves. Okay, so now this device is inserted in that. It is a rechargeable device also. Now, second statement is DBS device is the first response for epileptic seizures. No, not at all. If someone is suffering from epilepsy, well, then anti-seizure medicines are given to that person. Okay, and that person is put on a specific diet called ketogenic diet. This ketogenic diet seems to work a lot for epilepsy patients. All right, and this diet is actually rich in fats, low on carbohydrates. If these two measures also don't work, well, then a person goes for brain surgery. Okay, and if doctors think that all three measures won't work, then only they would advise you to go for this device. Okay, it's the last response for epileptic seizure. All right, now look, anti-seizure medicines are cheap. Ketogenic diet is very low cost. Brain surgery also costs around 20 to 30,000 rupees. Okay, but DBS is very expensive. This device alone costs around 12 lakh rupees plus 5 lakh for surgery. So around 17 lakhs is the entire cost of this DBS implant. So it is expensive, but it is cheaper than brain surgery? Not at all. It is even more expensive than brain surgery to cure epilepsy. So answer is A, only C. Question number 2. Consider the following regarding Project Nexus. Now, it is an international initiative that facilitates sharing of financial information between banks of different countries. Okay, Project Nexus was conceptualized by Innovation Hub of Bank for International Settlement. India, Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines were the first adopters of this initiative. Now, Project Nexus is an initiative through which fast payment systems of different countries can integrate. And through integration of fast payment systems of different countries, well, people residing in those countries can make cross-border payments. So to facilitate cross-border payments between these countries, Project Nexus was launched. Now, what do we mean by fast payment systems? For example, India has UPI. UPI is a fast payment system, right? It facilitates payments in a very quickly, right? You can make payments very quickly. Okay, so it is a fast payment system. Similarly, Singapore has Pay Now. Malaysia has a different fast payment system, different name for a fast payment system. So all these fast payment systems would get integrated on Project Nexus. So someone sitting in India using their UPI can make payment to someone sitting in Singapore. Okay, so this is what Project Nexus is, and RBI has recently decided to join Project Nexus. Now, Project Nexus was basically launched by Innovation Hub for Bank for International Settlements in Basel, Switzerland. Okay, so this is absolutely correct. Now, as of now, initially, only 5 countries have joined this project: India, Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines. And that is why these 5 countries are called the first adopters of this initiative. So this statement is also correct. First statement is false because it is not an initiative that facilitates sharing of financial information. It is an initiative that integrates fast payment systems of different countries to facilitate cross-border transactions. Okay, so only 2 statements are correct. The answer would be B. Question number 3. Consider the following statements regarding financial stability report by RBI. It is released annually by RBI. The 29th edition of FSR revealed that the gross NPA ratio of Indian banks has reached its highest in 12 years. Okay, according to the latest report, public sector banks have performed way worse than private sector banks. Now look, RBI releases financial stability report biannually, not annually, biannually. And the latest edition released in June was the 29th edition. Okay, so it is released annually, no biannually. This statement is false. The latest edition, also known as the 29th edition of FSR, says that Indian banks are doing very well. The gross NPA ratio of Indian banks has reached its lowest in 12 years. Lowest. And both public sector banks, private banks, and foreign banks all are performing very well. All are performing very well. Okay, their capital adequacy ratio, which is known as capital adequacy ratio or capital to risk weighted assets ratio, it is very nice. It is doing very well. Their profitability has increased. So in a sense, RBI says that banks are doing very well these days, and it is a very good sign for Indian economy in the near future. Okay, so second statement is false. Third statement is also false because public sector banks are not doing worse. They're actually doing better as compared to private sector banks, and if not better, then equally good as private sector banks. So all statements are false. No statement is correct. Okay, and last, consider the following statements regarding chital, spotted deer. It is a critical endangered species of deer that is native to Indian subcontinent. Chital population forms the natural prey base for big cats like tiger, cheetah, and leopards. Now, chital is a spotted deer which is native to Indian subcontinent. So basically, it is found in India and mostly in Sri Lanka. So it is native to Indian subcontinent, native to India and Sri Lanka. But it is not critically endangered. This species is not at all critically endangered. In fact, its status, as per IUCN Red List status, is that of least concern. That means we need not be concerned about the survival of this species. It's least concern. So chital population is not under threat. Okay, so because of this word critically endangered, statement 1 is false. Now, chital is actually preyed upon by predators like big cats, tiger, cheetah, leopards. They prey upon, so this form of deer forms the natural prey base for these big cats. And mostly, chital population is generally food for these big cats in Kuno National Park, in Gandhi Sagar National Park. Both of them are in Madhya Pradesh. In fact, cheetahs are nowhere to be found in India. In fact, Asiatic cheetahs became extinct in 1950s. So under Project Cheetah, we are importing cheetahs from Africa, Namibia and South Africa, and we have placed them in Kuno National Parks, and we have transported some cheetahs in Gandhi Sagar National Park, both in MP. Okay. So yeah, it is a natural prey base for big cats. This is true. Answer would be B, only 2. And with that, we conclude today's session. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And I'm sure it added value to your preparation, though it will actually add value only if you are consistent with this lecture series for at least 1 year. So make sure you spare 10 minutes from your daily routine and make it your daily habit. MCQ practice is very important. You'll find that out very soon. All right. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you next time with MCQs from 3rd July 2024's newspaper. Thank you.